Good evening, I'm Briana Collins. First tonight, snow covered much of Illinois over the weekend. Doug Quick explains what we can expect as we start our work week. Doug? Many Illinois counties already working their way through vaccinating people in Phase 1B. But a neighboring county is having a little bit of trouble making appointments for their clinics. A number of breaking news stories tonight. First, a man and two teenagers are behind bars following a triple murder in Danville. Last night, we told you that three men, all in their 60s, had been found dead inside a home on Elm Street. Today, we've learned all three died from stab wounds and blunt force trauma. Amtrak is under fire tonight after asking disabled passengers to pay $25,000 just to ride. A burglary investigation in Leroy leads to an arrest, and the suspect now facing a number of charges. Police arrested this man, Jordan Gillespie, after a month-long residential burglary investigation. During the investigation, the Leroy Police Department said it discovered information that led to not only burglary charges, but also firearm and possession of child pornography charges for Gillespie. Breaking news coming into our newsroom now. There's a large firefighter presence at Nelson Court and Phillips in Champaign near 4th and Bradley. You're taking a live look at the scene right now. We can see firefighters working on a garage fire. And again, this is a breaking news story. We do have a crew on the scene. Information is limited right now, but we will continue to bring you more details as they become available. February is Black History Month, and to celebrate, we spent weeks getting to know Black people past and present who stand out in central Illinois. Right now, someone has to go to every single curb and use either a measuring wheel, a level, or one of these. And they have to take a series of about 25 different measurements. That can take anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes. Now imagine you have to do that thousands of times. An Illinois lawmaker is introducing a bill to try to cut down on Illinois corruption in government. He thinks body cameras might help. Doug, there are two simple steps to this training, and in just minutes, more than 200 people are going to learn it, and the folks at home, we're going to give it to you now. So the first step is to call 911 for hands-only CPR. The second step that you're going to want to take is you're going to want to push hard and fast on the center of the chest. And that's it. A lot of people say that they're afraid to do this training because they're afraid of injuring someone. They say that if you push hard and fast again on the center of the chest, call 911 and do it to the beat of Stayin' Alive by the Bee Gees. If you don't know the song, watch the Office episode. It's worth a laugh and you'll learn something. These items have been donated and they'll stay here until they're swapped out for something new. But one man is getting a head start and taking things a step further. He's raising money by spending a full week out on the streets. Super Bowl Sunday is going to look a little bit different this year in Illinois. Now, this is the first year sports betting is allowed in the state after being legalized just last March. A former paramedic is accused of sexually assaulting a patient in the back of an ambulance. Doctors in New York have performed the first successful face and double hand transplant. A team of 140 medical professionals took part in the 23-hour landmark procedure. The patient was in a car crash in 2018. It left 80% of his body covered in third-degree burns. That patient is now working on his rehabilitation with physical, occupational, and speech therapy. But scenes like this one, they're all too common this time of year. As the snow falls, there are a few things you need to remember. Doug, from the looks of things, I mean, do we even need to hear from the groundhog tomorrow? It looks like winter is going to be sticking around a little while.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I don't like your story. I've almost been playing this game with myself. It's not really January.
It could be a lot worse.
In the next week and a half, thousands of University of Illinois students will be returning here to campus. While the university has already announced a number of COVID-19 safety measures, there's now a new one for the entire community. It's on your phone, and it's an app called Safer Illinois. The main page shows where you can find COVID-19 test locations, whether in the community or on campus. You can self-report any symptoms, and you can add your test results. There's also something for students that says Show Status Card. Full disclosure, I will be starting here at the university soon as a grad student. Right now, mine says Building Access Denied because I have not gotten a University of Illinois COVID-19 test. There will be workers who will be monitoring this. If you test positive, your building access will be denied, and it will show that on the app. If you test negative, you're good to go. Also, if you click on settings, there is something called exposure notifications. You can sign up for that, and it warns you if you've been exposed to an infected person. Other measures the school are adopting are requiring students to take 2 COVID-19 tests a week. They're also offering a hybrid model, so some classes are online and some classes are in person. The university says those in-person classes will be much smaller. They're also offering PPE kits for students with masks and will be enforcing social distancing. On the University of Illinois campus, I'm Briana Collins. Back to you. A local athlete is making a big splash in the racing world with a pair of gloves. And tonight's Illinois Innovations, where the inspiration for her products came from and how she's trying to help younger racers.
I love what I do. I love racing and I love 3D printing, and so the fact that I get to do both every day is really, really nice.
Arielle Rawson is a serious wheelchair racer.
I've done the New York Marathon in Chicago and Boston and London and LA.
But she wasn't always so athletic. Rawson was in a car accident when she was 10 that left her in a wheelchair. A few years later, she started doing 5Ks with her dad. Once she got a racing wheelchair and her gloves, she was hooked.
In wheelchair racing, a pair of gloves is kind of equivalent to a runner's pair of shoes. The reason you wear a glove is because when you're propelling a racing chair, you kind of use a punching motion.
One day, Rawson brought in a pair of racing gloves to 3D print for a class project at the U of I. 3D printing it seemed to fix a major problem wheelchair racers have.
Once the gloves that we used to use broke, we could never ever replicate them to be the perfect size and shape again.
So Rawson put her business degree from the university to work and came up with Ingenia Manufacturing to start 3D printing wheelchair racing gloves.
I did not imagine it going this far.
She says her gloves typically last 2 to 3 years, and she uses them up to 120 miles a week.
Right in there.
Okay. So far, she sold more than 4,000 pairs in 31 countries.
It's always fun for me at a race if I can kind of, like at the start line or while we're warming up, point to all the different people that have the gloves, because I'm like, oh wow, that's really awesome, because that started here and now it's just everywhere.
And most members of the U of I wheelchair racing team use her gloves, including an athlete we've reported on before, Daniel Romanchuk.
I think he likes them. He's got a lot of records in them, so that's really cool.
Rawson says Ingenia Manufacturing products are the lowest priced on the market. That helps young racers just starting out. They already need a racing wheelchair, which can cost from $3,000 to $5,000. Tires, about $80. They also need wheels, a helmet, and have to pay race entry or travel fees, which adds up.
I know gloves are just a small percentage of that overall cost, but if I can just reduce it, by $50 or $100, then that could hopefully make a difference.
Rawson says racing has given her new friends, a good work ethic, and a college scholarship. She hopes her gloves can help provide that same opportunity for others. Rawson's gloves cost $150. To purchase or learn more about her latest project, visit our website, foxillinois.com, and click on Illinois Innovation. A University of Illinois engineering student knows fashion. She also realizes old clothes can take up a lot of space in your closet, so she's here to help. And tonight's Illinois Innovations, the site that wants to be good for your wallet and for the environment. With the snip of the scissors, Karma Trade is now officially open.
There's just something that I saw wasn't done right. I'm like, but there has to be a new solution out there.
It's an online clothing swap service run by U of I freshman Mona Fang and her team. She feels it's a better alternative to traditional thrifting and other sites similar to hers.
We let you swap in the clothes that you don't wear for points and use those points to get clothes that you want to wear from our website, all for a flat fee.
According to Fang, it's also good for the earth.
We create 80 billion new items every year, and yet we're still generating 200 million tons of textile waste every year. So what that means to me is that all of the clothes that are going to waste can actually be recycled and reworn. That we can reduce the waste and also be an alternative model to buying new clothes.
Here's how it works. First, take a picture of clothing items you no longer want. Karma Trade will then tell you how many points you might get for them.
Simply choose the items that you want from our platform and get it sent to your door.
Put the items you're sending to Karma Trade in the bag they sent and use the prepaid shipping label and send it off.
It's a super easy process, and we want it to help people clean out their closets as well as get clothes that they want for a very affordable price.
From dresses to denim, jumpsuits to jackets, there's a lot to choose from. All these items have been donated and they'll stay here until they're swapped out for something new. Right now, Karma Trade is only online, but Fang does want to open a brick-and-mortar store. First, she's working on partnerships with local businesses.
Where we can help drive traffic to them as pickup and drop-off locations, and also maybe hold up a clothing rack so people can see our clothes in person.
So the next time you need new clothes, Fang hopes you consider Karma Trade instead of buying something from a traditional retail store.
We work by the motto that one man's trash is another man's treasure, or woman's.
So now cities have anywhere from 15,000 to 60,000 curb ramps at the end of their sidewalks that don't meet these very strict standards and are hard for people in wheelchairs to use them.
There are standards for how everything from buildings, doorways, sidewalks, and roadways have to be built for people in wheelchairs. According to the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, curb ramps are required. Now, there are standards for width, their slope, and what they can look like. But those can change, leaving cities with a big, expensive problem to get rid of the old ones and bring those curbs up to standard. There are a couple of ways to fix the problem. Take inventory on each and every curb that needs to be fixed. Champaign-Urbana has about 15,000.
Rockford, Illinois has 40,000. Chicago has well over 100,000.
Right now, someone has to go to every single curb and use either a measuring wheel, a level, or one of these. And they have to take a series of about 25 different measurements. That can take anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes. Now imagine you have to do that thousands of times. Or use Brandon Yates's Deep Walk. The University of Illinois student says it saves time and money.
What Deep Walk makes is a mobile app that scans curb ramps to make them really cheap to fix. Putting your phone down like this, hitting a button, picking it back up, scooting back a little bit, taking a video around the outside, and from that we can make a 3D model and automatically take all those measurements you would need. It also generates the construction data, so you not only know where your bad ramps are, where you have accessibility problems, you also have the construction information so you can go out and actually fix it.
Yates and 7 others are working on Deep Walk research. The group hopes it will be successful in making curbs ADA compliant a little faster, making life for those in wheelchairs a little easier.